Hi! Alright, so we are working on Lesson 8 from Module 6. Looking at this, oh boy, you're already in the middle of Topic B for our module. We have really a total of 34 lessons. So 34 minus 8, do that math, Callan, and you're going to be able to figure out how many more lessons you've got of 5th grade math. Wow. I'm excited for you. All right, so I am going to actually work through the entire problem set with you today because I know it kind of builds on itself and it's got a lot of things that you probably just need a little bit of help on, and I just am here to guide you through it. So you're going to follow through the problem set with me and then do the homework pages on your own. So much like we would do in class when we have a little bit trickier problem sets. All right, I'm going to take my green and we're going to get started. So number 1, it says create a table of 3 values for x and y such that each y coordinate is 3 more than the corresponding x coordinate. So I'm going to start, because I see that x is going by 2's at the bottom, I'm going to write my x's going by 2's just because I think that's going to fit a little bit better with our graph. So I'm going to say x is 2, x is 4, and x is 6. Let's do it that way. Okay? So starting with that, just want to make sure I'm not doing anything. Yeah, x2, x4, x6 should be great. So if x is 2 and the y coordinate is 3 more than that, y coordinate would be 3 more than 2 is 5. Great. So then the coordinate would be 2, 5. All right, so then if x is 4, the y coordinate is 3 more than that, y is 7. 4, 7. And then finally, if x is 6, then y is 3 more than that, y would be 9, 6, 9. Let's go ahead and we'll start plotting those points. So 2, 5, 4, and 7, 6, and 9. Now, if you need to pause so that you can keep up with me as we go along, go for it. I know I'm going a little bit faster. That's because I do my math a little bit faster than you because I've graduated 5th grade already. But if you need to pause so that you can copy, please do that. It's a little bit hard for me to know exactly the pacing because I can't see how far you are. All right, so now it says use a straight edge to draw a line connecting these points. I think I'm going to use my marker box this time. I think that's going to work a little better and hopefully won't ruin any of my things. All right, that's pretty good straight edge. So there's my line. Now give 2 points, or give the coordinates of 2 other points that fall on this line with the x coordinate greater than 12. So if x was more than 12, wait, x is not more than 12 on our graph. So we have to do a little bit of imagining. So let's try first with 13. And let's do some imagining, remembering our rule is that the y coordinate is just 3 more than the corresponding x coordinate. So if x is 13, we know our y coordinate would be 3 more than 13, which is 16. Now, I want to make sure I can do this with anything instead of just going in one at a time. So let's say x is 20. If x is 20, y is 3 more, which would make it 23. All right? Okay, so that one probably wasn't too bad, but I do want to keep going. So let's look at number 2. Create a table of 3 values for x and y such that each y coordinate is 3 times as much as the corresponding x coordinate. So here, we'll go our 2, 4, 6. Well, actually, I'm going to go 1 and then 3. Maybe 1, 3, and 4. It doesn't have to go in a pattern here. So x is 1. I'm going to say x is 1. Y is 3 times as much. That's 1 times 3. Oh, 3. So that would be 1, 3. Okay, that one was not too bad. Now, when x is 3, y is 3 times as much. 3 times 3 is 9. So you get 3, 9. The last one, let's try with 4. I promise there's good reasoning for this. So when x is 4, y is 3 times as much. That makes y 12. 4, 12. Whew, thank goodness we did 4 and not 5, because do you notice our y-axis ends at 12, so we can't fit anything higher than that on here. It would go beyond our y-axis, which would be a little bit of a bummer when we start trying to plot points right now. So let's go ahead and plot our points. So x is 1, 1, 3. Then we do 3, 9. Then we do 4, 12. Woo. All right. So now we take our straight edge. I'll take my marker box. And let's commit to this. Make sure, your straight edge is going to go through 0, 0. Do make sure of that, because guess what? 0 times 3 is 0. So I know our origin's still going to be 0, 0 here. Oh, wow. Look how sharp and, compare that to this. Look at that slope. This is so much steeper than this. Dang. That's one steep climb. All right, so let's come up with C. Give coordinates of 2 other points that fall on this line with y coordinates greater than 25. So I'm going to think of a number that's greater than 25 that I know I can divide by 3, since we know we're working with things that are divisible by 3. So let's just say, how about 27? If y is 27, x would be a third of that. That would be 9, right? Because 9 times 3 is 27. So our first one would be 9, 27. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to try a little bit of a simpler one. 10 and 30. This is where having your 3 times tables comes in handy, huh? Now, of course, you could choose other ones as long as you're multiplying by 3 between x and y, and that it's more than 25. So any x that's greater than 9 should end up working. Okay, so we've done number 1 and number 2. We can even compare them and realize, well, this one starts higher, but this one goes up way faster. Interesting. Let's move to number 3. Create a table of 5 values for x and y such that each y coordinate is 1 more than 3 times as much as its corresponding x value. So here we're going to be combining both of these types of rules. All right, so let's start with x being y, or 1. If x is 1, I'm just going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I think for me, that's going to make things, keep things a little bit simpler here, all right? So, if x is 1, y is, excuse me. All right, if x is 1, y is 1 more than 3 times as much as the corresponding x value. So, what's 3 times as much as 1? That's 3. But it's 1 more than that, so really y would be 4. 1, comma, 4. This. Number 2, x is, or for the next one, 2 is the x value, so y would be, well, 2 times 3 is 6, plus 1, 7. So 2, comma, 7. All right, now x is 3, y is 3 times as much plus 1. So 3 times as much as 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. 3, comma, 10. And then I'll start thinking about 4 is going to be 3 times as much, which is 12, plus 1, which is 13. 4, comma, 1, 3. And finally, 5 is 3 times as much, which is 15, plus 1 is 16. 5, comma, 16. So there you have your completed table. So here, we're going to plot these points, 1 to 4, 2 to 7, 3 goes to 10, 4 goes to 13, and 5 goes to 16. Woo-wee! Alright, so now we'll take our straight edge, that marker box. Now here, when we have 0, we'd have 1. So make sure your origin here with this line is actually at 1 on y. So when x is 0, 1 is your y. Oh, it did not go straight through my points. And I used a marker, so I can't erase it. If you use a pencil, like you're supposed to with math, you'll be able to fix that. But you can see that just like in number 1, it starts a little high. And you can see that just like in number 2, that slope is super steep. That's what we want to be able to see with number 3. All right, so we're going to come up with those coordinates. It says give coordinates of 2 other points that would fall on this line whose x coordinates are greater than 12. So x coordinates greater than 12, let's try 13. So 13 times 3, whew. Okay, got it, 39, plus 1 is 40. So when you've got an x of 13, you've got a y that's 40. Okay, I'm going to just do one more. So when x is 14, y is, all right, 14 times 3, 42, and then add 1, 43. All right. One last page. This is number 4, but number 4, of course, is going to be tricky. I'm so glad I'm using markers because I will be able to see different lines a little bit better. But for you at home, I would recommend maybe using colored pencils if you're able to. Otherwise, just make sure you're labeling them with your pencil and you'll be fine. So, graph the lines on the plane. So, for A, for the first one, line L, I like that it's a nice cursive L, x is equal to y. So Great, that's easy. So we've got, well, when x is, let's go first. 1, when x is 1, y is 1, so we've got a 1, comma 1. Then when x is 5, y is 5, we've got a 5, comma 5. And then let's go when x is 10, y is 10, so you've got 10, comma 10. Whew. A little hard to read, sorry. But let's go ahead and put that up on our thing. We've got point A is 1, 1. Point B is 5, 5. And point C is 10, 10. So now we take our straight edge and we connect those, going through our 0, and going through the center of each line, or of each point, sorry. There we go, that's a pretty good line there. And we're going to label that with our L. This is line L. Make sure it's as close to a cursive L as you can do. I know you're just now starting to learn cursive, so just do your best. And let's move on to line M. So with line M, I'm thinking line M I'm going to do purple. All right, so line M, y is 1 more than x. So when G, for point G, when x is 2, y is 1 more than that, which is 3. 2, 3. For H, let's do when x is 6, y is 1 more, which is 7, 6, comma 7. And then when x is 11, y is 12, 11, comma 12. Should look something like this. Okay, so let's go to 2, 3, 6, 7, and 11, 12. Label those, of course, G, H, and I. Notice we're using capital letters to label our points. Okay, so now I'm going to take my straight edge. Now here I know that if x was 0, y would be 1. So I want to make sure I use that point to help me guide. And then make sure my line is going straight through the center of those points. And I'm going to label it M. Oh, sorry, that wasn't super clear. I'm also realizing I should probably label a little bit farther down on the line. That was a bad habit from back when I was in school, and I just continued it. You want to make sure you're labeling at the end of your line. More like this. Sorry about that. So let's take, I'll use orange for our last one. Line N, y is 1 more than twice x. So for S, when x is 3, y would be 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 more, 7. So 3, comma 7. And then when let's see, for t when x is, let's do when x is 4. 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, 4, comma, 9. And then we will try, let's do 6. So when x is 6, y is 2 times as much as 12, plus 1, 13, 6, comma, 13. All right. So let's plot those points. Oops, battery is dying, of course. Let's fix that. There we go. All right, so 3, 7 is the first point. 1, 2, 3, go up to 7. And that's S. And then the next one is 4 to 9, which is T. And then U is 6, 13. So you should end up with something that looks like this. And then take our straight edge. We're going to make a line. We're going to label it N. Now here we want to make sure we're going to have that same point of 0, 1 down at the bottom, because when x is 0, y would be 1, because that's 2 times 0 plus 1. And of course, we'll go through the center of our points as well. Make our line. And we are labeling it N. And there we go. All of our lines have been graphed. So, which 2 lines intersect? When give the coordinates of their intersection. So, intersection, of course, is when they meet. And if I look at that, N and M look like they meet. So I'm going to write N and M meet at, but where do they meet? They meet right here, which was, well, x is 0 and y is 1. I guess I probably should have said intersect at 0, 1. That's fine. Which 2 lines are parallel? Ooh. These 2 are parallel. They're never going to cross. So that's M and L. Or L and M, I guess, if you want to put it in alphabetical order. All right. So get the rule for another line that would be parallel to the lines you listed in problem C. So lines that would be parallel to L and M. Well, what I noticed that's similar between them is that Y is always going up the same amount as X, but it's starting a different point. Because they're just adding 1, or adding, you could add 2, so Y is 2 more than X, or Y is 3 more than X. But I'm realizing too, I think Y is 1 less than X would also work. So Y is 1 less than X, Y is 5 more than X. As long as it's the same amount each time, you'll end up with a parallel line because they'll have the same slope. They'll go up by the same amount throughout the entire time, for like the entire length of time, all the way off in that direction, which is pretty cool. So here we go. We've got all of this work that you've just done. That's fantastic. I know this is probably our longest math lesson in quite a while. You now have the homework problems to solve. you have probably been doing all of your work, so you probably have tomorrow as a catch-up day. So don't worry too much, don't stress too much, because you do have time tomorrow to do it as well, okay? If you have any questions, if any of this is unclear, you just want to clear something up, let me know. If you need to work through a problem with me, let me know. I'm here in this room pretty much 24/7 for the next, well, until May. So please let me know if you have any questions. I'm right here to help. Have a great day.